Hello everyone, I'm hoping to do a brief video introduction into advanced consisting. Advanced consisting is when you are able to run two locos or two units together in multiple. In the UK this is known as double heading if you have two locos at the front of the train. We also have top and tailing, where you have a loco at each end, and running in multiple, and you have multiple units. In the USA it's known as consisting, when several locos run together. Now this has been discussed a lot recently on various Facebook groups and forums, how to achieve this, whether it's due to somebody that's new to DCC or somebody that's wanting to expand on their knowledge and operation of DCC. Now there are various ways to do this. One way I've seen discussed a lot, and that is controller based consisting. Basically you are compiling two or more locos into the same controller within DCC, and this will send out individual commands to each loco's decoder and hopefully making them move together. What I am hoping to demonstrate is advanced consisting, where this is actually sending out one set of commands and it's being picked up by each of the decoders within that consist, and the consist, rather than being built on the controller, is built within each individual. Now to allow this to happen we need to use what is known as Railcom. Railcom enables the communication from the controller to the decoder in the loco or unit whilst it is on the main track. Now usually you use a programming track to change your addresses, CVs, etc. But with Railcom you are able to use what is known as programming on main. So other than just selecting the CV and the CV value to read or write, using programming on main, you would select the loco, the CV you require, and then the value of that CV. And this can be read and written whilst it is on the main track. Now to start off with, we're going to show you CV29 on the decoder for this 153. Now that to me reads 42, and the easiest way to understand CV29 is to use a calculator from a website such as Digitrax or the 2mm Association websites, which are both websites I can recommend having a look at. And these will either allow you to tick the boxes of what you require and receive a value to put in that CV, or you can put in the value of the CV and it will show you what is turned on and what is turned off. Now generally I tend to use a value of 42 on my CV29, and that gives me such things as long address capability, speed curve capability, analog switched off, Railcom switched on. And it is the Railcom that we need to be switched on to be able to do the programming on the main. Now, why do I use advanced consisting? Well, majority of my locos have sound decoders in them, and pretty much all of those sound decoders have a function called active drive, which is basically a brake function on F2. What this does is, as my train is passing around the layout, if I turn the controller to 0, it will continue to coast, the majority of which will do a complete lap of the layout before it comes to a stand. Now once I've turned the controller to 0 and I wish to stop the train in a certain place, I use function 2 to apply the brake. and that increases the deceleration rate and makes it a bit more realistic for driving. And it can be quite tricky sometimes to get it to stop in the right place unless you've had a bit of practice. Now the problem with having the brake is that if I use controller based consisting, I can only apply that brake to one loco or one unit at a time, so therefore one ends up pushing the other either off the track, derailing it, or one pulling the other loco round whilst it's being dragged. And advanced consisting basically allows me to get around this with some extra CV changes. So the main CV you need to look at for advanced consisting is CV19. Now CV19 will take a 2-digit address, and that 2-digit address will replace its standard address that you've already given it, whether that be a 2-digit or a 4-digit address. And that 2-digit address in CV19 becomes its new number. So of course you do have to have that number registered on your controller. Now if I applied that to one loco and then a second, they would both become the same number, and hopefully, providing they're both in the correct orientation, they will run together. Obviously if they don't run in the correct orientation, one's going one way, one's going the other, either turn the loco around, or you add a value of 1 to the CV29, or of course if you've already done that, you need to minus 1 from the value of CV29. That's basically just changing the direction within the CVs of the way that the loco is heading. So I'm just going to do a quick demonstration for you now. So we've currently got on the left hand side here 153329, and I'm going to type that in there. So this one's address is 1539, so that's currently on a 4-digit address. And if I go to CV address of 19 and I change that value to the value of 15, right, that now has a new address. It is no longer 1539, it is now loco number 15. In case you saw me pressing the set CV button a few times there, unfortunately due to the number of locos on my layout, the communications between the controller and the decoder sometimes get lost, and it doesn't always give me a confirmation that it's gone through. But if I press the set CV button a number of times, I can more or less guarantee that that has worked. Right, so 153 is now running on number 15. Let's just bring that back into view quickly. You may have noticed that the other 153 was also on number 15 as well, so you probably saw that shoot off to the side just then. And as you can now understand, they are now both running together. If I change the value back to 0 of CV19, the loco unit will return to its original loco address, whether that be the 2-digit or 4-digit address that's already set, but it will return to its original address and allow you to operate it separately. So just between shots then, I've just separated the two locos again, so they are both running on their actual 4-digit addresses. The one on your right is 1538, one on the left is 1539. So just between shots there, I've separated both locos again by setting CV address 19 to the value of 0. So hopefully now, as you will see, they can both move individually. Now, why would I want to use advanced consisting? I'm running the layout. I bring two separate trains into, say, the station, and I want them to join together and depart together, much like in real life, especially with multiple units. I know on the South Western Railway, quite often during the day, units are joined and split. Best example I can give is probably Eastleigh on a Sunday. You have 5 carriages will come up from Portsmouth to Eastleigh, 5 carriages come up from Poole to Eastleigh, they join together and they continue to London as a 10-carriage train. And then on the way back, they arrive back at Eastleigh, they split into 2 portions again. The front portion goes off to Poole and the rear portion goes off to Portsmouth. Well, you can now do this within DCC using the advanced consisting. So here we go. I'm going to bring the Great Western Railway unit on the right hand side into the one on the left, and we're going to very carefully couple up. Now at the moment these have 2 separate addresses, 1538 and 1539. So we've got 1538 value CV19 on there, and we're going to change that to the value of 15. Now we're going to set that. Now thankfully the other one is 1539, so I've just got to go up 1 loco and do exactly the same there. Right, I already have on my handheld controller 153-15 consist set up, and I should be able to just drive them both away together rather nicely. I'll just bring that to a stop and bring it back. This is where it gets interesting. I use the brake function and various sound functions and light functions within the decoders. Whilst it's in the advanced consist, I need to be able to apply the brake to both. Now this is done via CVs 21 and 22. There is again a calculator on the Digitrax website that will give you values for CV21 and CV22 as to what functions you require. I think there's function 1 to function 12 tick boxes, and you tick which ones you'd like to be able to use within the advanced consist, and it will give you values for CV21 and 22. At the moment these are non-sound decoders and these 153s, and the only function I need is the brake function. So I'm going to need to set CV21 to 2, which gives me function 2, and CV22 to 0. And all that gives me out of the whole range of functions is the brake on F2. All the other functions such as lights, horns, etc. will still be available for use underneath the original loco or unit's loco address. So if I want to turn the lights on and off on these, I can go to 1539 and turn the lights on and off as per individual loco. But if I want to apply the brake now, I have to make sure that I am using loco 15, which is applying the power and the brake. So I'm going to set 21. It's already set up. I'm just going to show you. It's 21 to function 2. Now if I show you quickly on here, so we're going to move off, turn the controller to 0 and hit 2 for the brake. Now as you might see that, I have no control over the lights, but if I go to the unit, you might just be able to see it there. I'm turning the lights on and off. The same would apply for horns and various other effects. Now with the brake function operating within the advanced consist only, and all other functions operating on the original 4-digit address, if you change CV19 back to 0, it will return the loco back to its original address, but it will also return any of the functions that were active in the Advance Consist back to the original 4-digit address as well. So as soon as you've split the trains apart and you've changed CV19 to 0, all the functions that were in the Advance Consist are now available to use as an individual loco. Now obviously with Advance Consisting, same with other locos, here we've got two units that are exactly the same decoders. But if you, for instance, you were trying to run a Hornby class 56 with a Batman 66, you may have problems with the speeds being different between the locos. Now that's down to speed matching, which is something entirely different. Probably plenty of videos and explanations out there, and it might be something that I cover in a later video. But this is basically Advanced Consisting and how I use it to be able to apply functions to the control for that consist, enabling me to use brakes. This is something that can't be done with controller-based consisting very easily, so hopefully I've explained it well enough for everybody, and hopefully some of the newbies to DCC or more knowledgeable people have learnt something from this video. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment. I'll be posting this on YouTube and on Facebook. Just leave me a comment if you have any questions. Cheers.